Congrats on the awesome work, Kate. That boss absolutely slaps. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Fall and Flame as well. Thank you so much for the cheers as well. Congrats on your work on the game. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'll give time, Ryan to eat something. But I could kind of talk about it a little bit. I think some people were interested to see, like, how did this come out of nowhere, like there was no hint, there was nothing. Slip Cycle, thank you so much for 23 months. I'm rarely up late enough to say hi, but good job again, my friend. Oh, thank you so much. It's we basically started, I mean, Ryan Clark, the guy, obviously, the guy at the Brace Yourself games. He just kind of, pinged me and then just like, hey, I think there's something that you might be interested in, and like, do you wanna just like come to the office and just chat a little? And I'm just like, oh, what's this about, right? And then that was in January, so obviously it was, Nintendo, the Legend of Zelda. It wasn't. It was huge. It's just something. It's just I don't know. It's just like out of this world. Sexual Stephen Hawking, thank you so much for 43 months. So awesome, Kate. Sorry that Ryan beat you on his first try. Yeah, I cannot believe he tried so hard to beat me and then he snoozed on the guitar boss and just died. Kind of shame. Bringing shame to our family here. he just sat there, you know what I mean? That he wasn't even trying. Where he was trying so hard to beat me. Jesus Christ, you know what? Misaka, 45 months in a row. Thank you so much. Happy for you, boss lady. Thank you so much. But yeah, like it started in January, and I thought it was just something that they're gonna work on, maybe something Necrodancer, and it is something related to Necrodancer, but it was going to be published by Nintendo, and Nintendo's was gonna handle the like publishing part, and it was basically under the name of Nintendo, right? Like it was huge. It was huge, and it was huge because I think it might be the first indie game that has worked with Nintendo, like kind of Nintendo's IP was given to an indie game developer and they made it into a game. And I don't know if that has been done before, but within my knowledge, an indie game having a Nintendo IP, making into a wonderful game, is just blowing my mind. And when I saw it, and the dev build, they were so good. Like what you see in the game was basically what I saw in January, and I was just amazed. And I'm like, what is this? It looks amazing. I thought I was gonna see some lame ass build and just like, it's gonna look great, but we're super early on, so this is what you're no, it was amazing. It was already perfect, and I'm just like, that is awesome. I can't I can't take this. And then Ryan Clark was like, it would be great if you would like to work with us. And I'm just like, yes. Where do I sign? Just point it on the contract and I'll just sign it, Nano Freak, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime subscription. 13 months, thank you. So, sign. I mean, you'll be asking, like, how did Ryan Clark know you? I played the Necrodancer, their first game. And I played it as, I think, like, 12 hours a day when I streamed 12 hours a day. And it was on the DDR pad. Maybe not 12 hours just on DDR part. It was like 8 hours at least 8 hours on the DDR pad. Move like basically moving my body to move the character in the game. The Necrodancer plays just like the cadence of Hyrule. Instead of using your fingers and pushing the buttons, you have to move your legs to basically push the buttons on the DDR pad to move the characters and stuff, right? And in order to attack and in order to do some skills, you actually had to press 2 directional keys at the same time, all that kind of stuff. Anywho, there was like a tiny competition. It was kind of for fun, and I wanted to be in top 3 to win some. It wasn't that a lot of money, I believe, but it was just for like I'm doing this for Kate Army kind of thing. So we did that. That was like 5 years ago. And that's how Ryan Clark knew about me, like through the Necrodancer competition, and he knew I was one of the participants, and one of the participant that was streaming for 8 hours at least on the DDR pad, and he's like, well, like this lady is crazy, kind of a deal. And then, you know, he's from Vancouver and we live in Vancouver, so we just had dinner, and then it was like, you know, thanks for participating in the Necrodancer competition, and then we just like said hi, you know, during conventions throughout the year. And then he was working on this project, and then he came up with one of the boss, and the original name is Wizzroboe, and it's one of the wizard featured in like many Zelda games. And then it's like, Wizzrobe, how about we name it Wizzroboe, like Wizzroboe. So they're like, okay, well that'll be great. Then we need an oboist. So Ryan Clark was like, wait, we know an oboist, and then that's how he contacted me, and then the rest is the history. But yeah, it was really fun to work with Danny B. He's a great composer, and it was really cool. Like he would write like really cool jingle, and he was like, I don't know if this is playable on oboe. But you know, if there's anything that's impossible to play or bad or anything, let me know. And I'm like, no, it's all great. And I practiced, and I had to practice when Ryan was not streaming or recording, because even if the tiniest bit of sound that I was practicing got leaked, then that would be not good. So I had to like practice like early in the morning, and then we did the recording. The recording went super smooth, and one of the funny thing is that on like, I think I only had 2 themes practiced before the recording session. So the Ice Dungeon and the Wizzroboe theme. That was the only 2 that I practiced and I had the sheet music for. So I went to the recording studio, and then bam, he was like, okay, we need to record some of just like riffs, just because when you actually, I know it's like the boss, so you don't want to just like leave the boss hanging around attacking you, but if you would like to hear some of the cool parts, I do recommend you to let Wizzroboe to do cool stuff, especially when he is in rage mode. When he is in rage, like the red, like he will glow red, he will do all these like riffs, like things like that. That was basically on the spot. They were just like, you know, we'll just give you some like 5 minutes, just come up with whatever and just do some like riffs. And I'm just like, what? It's just like, you know, oboe is not an instrument that can just go riffs. It's not like a guitar, you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, well, I've never done this in my life, so I'll just, you know, give it a try. And then they're like, yeah, just do anything, just do anything you want. And I'm just like, okay. And then I just went like, just, I don't know, it was so awkward, because I was like, well, it's not, you know, like something that I've done before. And so but they're like, it's great. oh, now we're gonna implement that in the game. So that riff, like the like that kind of thing sound, it's only happens when Wizzroboe is in range. Um, what else? Oh, when you hit Wizzroboe, it also squeaks, like goes like like something like that. And that was also on my oboe. They were like, could you like squeak on your oboe? And I was like, we practice not to squeak, so it's kind of hard to squeak. You know what I mean? Like all these years I've been practicing to not squeak, and they're like, could you squeak? I'm just like, okay, well, I'll try. And it was just like some weird harmonic fingerings and just kind of like squeaking, trying my best to sound like little squeak and squack and stuff like that. But I don't think you can really hear it all that well unless you have your headphones in. But definitely if you have your headphones in, you hit Wizzroboe, you'll definitely hear like something like something like that. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool, man. Happy Porcupine. Thank you so much for 47 months. Thank you. Is it true that the only way to get the Philosopher's Stone is to look at Ryan's head but not want it? I don't even know what that means. Amerix, thank you so much for 61 months. Hello. Did you have any sort of input into the game music, or was it more just performing? Well, when we signed the contract, when I signed the contract in January, it was still like kind of up in the air.
We're gonna be on camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was kind of up in the air. So Danny was kind of asking, like, is there anything that you have idea of? Like, they already had the arts, like the concept art and the dungeon, everything, like all that was solidified. So that was that. It was just the music that we had to decide on. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking maybe like it's ice, it's cold. Maybe we're thinking like, what's cold, kind of like cold oboe, like ice dungeon. I'm just like, I think like Baroque, kind of like Bach, like kind of sounding oboe would be cool. And then Danny was like, oh, that sounds really awesome. So we focused the idea of kind of Baroque sounding piece. But I mean, Danny was also open for like actual composition from myself as well. But I didn't major in composition, okay? I'm a performance major. Give me the music, I'll play it. So I just like hand out the idea of like, I think it'd be cool if it's like Baroque style. And so Ice Dungeon is Baroque style. You can kind of hear like harpsichord and stuff like that. And yeah, so like that was an influence, I guess, that I brought to the game. I mean, there's some cool Easter egg, but I don't really want to mention it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, when I signed the contract in January, the game was basically done. And they just had to fix little stuff. Like basically like the framework was done. Like art was like the concept art and the whole art and everything was implemented. It was just the basically waiting for the sound effect, music, voiceover and some details and stuff like that. So like main frame was basically done by the time I signed it. So when I was able to when I was able to see, when I saw the game in January, I was like, oh my gosh, like it's, like the game is not out yet, but it's so refined. It looks so pretty. It looks so cute. It was just like, I couldn't. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then Ryan Clark was like, like you're not supposed to tell anyone, but I will allow you to tell to Ryan, but make sure Ryan doesn't tell anyone else. And I'm like, of course. So I told Ryan, I'm like, Ryan, oh my gosh. I took this deal and it's amazing and this game looks amazing. And then Ryan was like, oh, cool. Okay. And I'm like, you don't understand. What is this reaction? I thought you'd be like, holy crap, Nintendo, holy crap. The first, like, collaboration ever that you're gonna do is The Legend of Zelda. Like, I thought he would just be like, holy crap, or something. But he was just like, oh, okay, And I'm just like, what? But I think now that the game is out and everything, I think he is kind of feeling that right now too. I think like this morning, like I was just like dying. Basically, I was just like basically like the earth was collapsing, but in a good way. It wasn't like bad way, but it was like in a good way. It was like really nervous. I was really nervous, and like you don't want to be like Ryan said, like everything about the game was great except the oboe part. What was that oboe? Yeah, oboe sucks. It doesn't play any roles in the game. Like what the F was oboe? Who cares about oboe? Like I would have given 10 out of 10, but the oboe ruined it. So 7 out of 10 or something. Like you know what I mean? You never know. There's so I was just like dying. Like I was really worried, I've been worried ever since January. Like, the game looks so great. The game looks perfect. And I just don't, I want to add on that perfection and not take away from it. So I was just like, dying every second of it ever since January. 9 out of 10, but the oboe made it 10 out of 10. That's a very, very nice of you. I mean, like, that's what basically I was worried about. And I was like, when I even listened the final mix that Danny B sent, I was still like skeptical because like you only hear oboe in the classical music setting. Like you never hear it in like rock or remix or video game. Like it's a very kind of like, I don't know, like it's not flexible. It's a very unflexible instrument. It only focuses on classical music. So, and I mean, it does really, really well in classical music. But that's why I was really worried. And even after the recording, I was really worried. I'm just like, oh my gosh, was it okay? Was that okay? Oh my gosh. Like, like after we recorded it, like we booked the room for 4 hours, enough time to record the whole thing. But then, like I guess I was so good that the recording was over in an hour and a half. So we used that extra an hour and a half to listen to the recording, and then see if we need to fix anything and kind of adjust anything if needed. And while we were like listening the recording in the studio, I was like monk ass whole time. I was like, oh my gosh, like I sound horrible, I cannot take this. And then he's like, no, you sound great, what are you talking about? No, it's gonna be great. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have no idea, I don't know. And then like after mixing, Danny B sent me the files, and he's like, here you go, this is your track, oboe god. You ripped that music, it was amazing. And I listened to it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I sound horrible. It wasn't like I sound amazing, it was like I sound horrible. Oh my gosh. And then Danny was like, no, don't worry about it, it's great. And I'm just like, okay. It was just I think Chet knows me well enough that it's just like, even if it's good, I'm just like, it's not good enough kind of a person. It's like kind of a little too perfectionist, I guess. So, yeah. When I still hear it in game, I just feel like it's fake. I feel like this is not real life, cause it's just like, I feel like it's like a mod, like someone added onto it. Like it's not actually implemented in the real game. And I hear myself play, I'm just like, oh, it's so weird. Oh, it's so weird. I don't know how to say it, man. It's so weird. Did you refer him as Mr. B-Sides? No, I did not. I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't really know Danny B as a personal level before this. So, you know, I don't know, man. Arr. Do you wanna... Wait, I'll up the mic so that... There you go. And then, have the webcam on. Yo.
Good timing.
Why?
I was like mid gulp,
You were?
and I forgot the freaking blender ball in the blender bottle.
Well... Wait, isn't
So
that
it's
how
all-
it's supposed to be?
No, the ball goes into the bottle, and then you shake it up,
Yeah.
and then the ball breaks up the powder.
Yeah.
But there's no ball inside of the... There's no ball in the bottle, so it doesn't... I shake it as much as I want. I can shake it...
What's he talking about?
There's no ball in the bottle.
Oh, you forgot the ball in the bottle. I see. He is missing his ball. Dude, so, do you want to know a little Easter egg?
You sure the camera's okay?
Yeah, that's just the wall.
Alright.
That's just the wall right there. It's not the
Yo.
green screen. Whoa, Abaddon, thank you so much for the gift sub, bro, dude. Poggies in the chat, please. Poggies! Thank you so much. Well, I wanted to hide this Easter egg because it was a little embarrassing. But then, now with that sub gift, now I gotta tell him. I don't know, man. I'm still half about it. Don't tell anyone else. Just keep it to yourself, okay? Don't put it on like a wiki dot slash... I don't know.
If it's really a secret, be careful, because once it's out, it's out.
Well, it's not. It's just like it's an Easter
Yeah.
egg. It's an Easter egg. So like, there's this part when I don't know if anyone noticed it, but in the recording of the Ice Dungeon, the very end of the theme, I played it wrong. I was like half a beat too late. But then, or was it the boss music? When I listen to it, I'll know it. But one or the other. Maybe it's the boss music and not the Ice Dungeon one. I think it's the boss music. I played a half a beat too late, and I was like, oh no, like, wipe that recording. Let's try it again. But then Danny B was like, I like that. And I'm just like, really? And then he was like, yeah, I like that. I'm gonna put that in. I like it even more than what I wrote on the music. And I'm just like, yeah, but you wrote it on the beat, not off the beat. And then he's like, scratch that. I don't want it to be on the beat. I like it more that it's off the beat. And I'm just like, are you sure? Are you okay? And then he's like, yeah, I'm keeping it in. And I'm just like, I was like, not like this, no. If anyone knows, they would think like I got it wrong. I mean, I did get it wrong. But yeah, I don't know if people will spot it in the game. I think it's the boss music that's...
I forgot he had an emote too.
Oh yeah, Danny B.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just I was basically like burying myself under the pile of music. I'm just like, it sounds horrible. And I was just like hiding. And then he's like, no, it's good. Kate is actually the new bug. No. There's this like, here, hold on. Oh, be careful.
This office is too small for me now.
Yeah, we gotta move. This is the music file. Da-dum. I'm not gonna show the whole thing, obviously, but Yeah, it was the Wizzroboe that I was playing it a little too late, but that's okay. It was just like the very end. They gave me like, so if you notice it in Wizzroboe, when I am summoning like the icicle or whatever, like when I'm doing like magic, I will be playing in staccato, like so they gave me this and they're just like, I hope you don't need to breathe. It's just like no break whatsoever. And then I'm just like, oh well, like, you know, I need to breathe. So it follows the main Wizzroboe music, but obviously there's no break. So how we did it, like, because if I don't breathe, that means like I'm not going to breathe for 3 minutes and a half while I'm playing oboe, right? It's not just holding the breath like while I'm playing the oboe.
Yeah, it's too much.
So what we did is that we played it a bar by bar by bar. And then we were like, okay, that's a little too much. So we made it into 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars. So we'll record 4 bars and then stop. 4 bars, stop. But then it wasn't like 4 bars, 4 bars. Like I had to play the extra bar that continues on. So that's a little secret of for only you guys to know.
For the DVD commentary.
For when you guys play or fight Wizzroboe, it's just like it's me going like taka taka, and then by the 12th bar, my tongue was like spazzing out, cause like I was like tonguing like taka 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 taka, right? So it's like for 60. 5, 6, 7 for 67 bars. So by the end of it, I was like, my tongue hurts. But yeah, it was fun. What was this one? This one also does not have break. But yeah, it was like literally everything in the ice dungeon was like anything that you hear oboe, it's not MIDI oboe, it's all by me. Like even like the sound of like the when you like get the oboe,
yeah,
it goes like da 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 da.
Yeah, that's a classic Zelda.
Yeah, I had to play the da 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 da. But then it was also not on the music. They were like, okay, can you just like do some arpeggios or something? And I'm just like, huh? And then they're like, just do a quick arpeggios, I don't know, like just like blah blah blah. And like it's supposed to be a jingle after you pick up, like after you defeat the boss, then oboe drops, and when the player picks it up, there's gonna be a jingle. So it's just like arpeggio of like do 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 do. And I'm just like, and then yeah, it was just like it was that like that on the spot. So. And it was only a trill too, like after you defeat the boss. But then they're just like, can you do some, I wish they would release some behind the scene recording for oboe, because Ryan, because it wasn't on the sheet music, it just said trill, but to Danny B, the trill wasn't, it wasn't like fancy enough, right? So they're just like, can you just like do something cool? And I think we recorded like 8 tries of me just doing stuff on the oboe, and I think at one point they're just like, that sounds good, we'll keep that in.